Cowboy State Daily Show continues. Had a little bit of a power bump there. Sorry. I think we got everything worked out now. It's finally Friday. Yeah, these things happen on Friday. You know how it is. We got Rocky Case we got to get to in the waiting room, in the Zoom room. So let's do that. Rocky, how are you? I was having some technical difficulties. I think I got it figured out now. I don't hear you. You're muted. There you are.
I'm doing great. How you doing this morning?
Good. I think somebody parked their big RV out front and it blocked our signal. I want to talk about Cheyenne politics just a little bit. Rocky Case, the former city council in Cheyenne. What is it? Is it Ward 3 technically? I'm not sure how they work it in Cheyenne.
Yeah, it would be. There's 3 wards, and I was a council member of Ward 3. Correct.
Okay. So you were there when, in fact, you were one of the first, or if not the first, to propose banning people parking big stuff out in the street. And man, I can say that is such an issue where I am in Jackson because people don't have anywhere to park their boats, their campers, their RVs. So they park it in the street. And it's just, besides being a safety issue, it's just a pain in the butt. There's no parking space. Everybody's using the streets for storage. And they, people will claim, well, we pay taxes, we own the streets, but well, hold on. First, let's get to the safety aspect. The very beginning, Rocky, when you were trying to convince your peers, Ward 3 on the city council that, hey, these RVs and big stuff parked on streets, it's an issue. It's a safety issue, and it's near and dear to you when you were a kid. Like, you just can't see traffic.
Yeah, to the opposition, I'd say, I guess maybe they have X-ray vision, but you can't. It's just, and to your point, when I was 7 years old, I was hit by a car. There were multiple factors, but visual obstruction was certainly a contributing factor in that accident. But there was another issue right around the time that I was attempting to run this ordinance where a city sanitation truck was backing up into the street, and there was a visual obstruction by one of these campers, and a motorcycle T-boned the sanitation truck, and the motorcyclist did not make it.
Yeah.
And I ran a list, just some data that I just dug up, and Asper, now Cheyenne, Powell, Sundance, Pinedale, Ten Sleep, and Teton County all have ordinances, and it's it appears that Cheyenne, from my perspective, was the outlier, not just in Wyoming but nationwide. People don't want these things on the streets for long term, because of the factor, and then the cosmetics too. That everybody brings that up, which is why a lot of the neighborhoods have HOAs, and people will say, "Well, don't turn Cheyenne into an HOA. I should be able to do whatever I want," but at what cost to the comfort and safety of others? Yeah.
I agree. Just anyone who's been to a 4-way stop sign. I mean, you can't see around stuff. It gets to a point where the privilege, and it is a privilege. I don't think it's your right to park crap out on the street. It becomes abused. When you see stuff up on blocks, like you're not moving that thing, like that is parked there for presumably, quite a long time. So, yeah, you tried it early, like what year back, and it just didn't get any traction, and then it finally did. So take me through the beginning when you first thought this is an issue.
Let me do some math real quick.
Yeah.
25, 21, 29. It probably would have been 2016, maybe 2017 when I tried to run it. And I mean, I certainly got blown up by phone calls and text messages and emails from residents that opposed it.
Mm.
But typically those are going to be the ones that would want to do it, right? And I just think at the time, again, I liked when I was on council, generally speaking, I like, okay, this is what the constituents want, except safety. Safety trumps all that, in my opinion. But the bottom line was the council at the time did not have any appetite to entertain it, and so I pulled it before it even went to committee. So it did not get any didn't get any. No one got to speak on it because I knew it was going to fail from the get go.
Yeah,
that was not enough convincing that I could do to switch that. So to me, it wasn't worth it at the time. But I'm really happy that former council member Richard Johnson and current council member Aldrich decided to run it late last year and got it through. One of the disappointing things to me is it's not a year-round thing, and it makes me scratch my head on that. Why is it not year-round? Is safety not a factor in the summertime? I think it's more of a factor in the summertime because kids are out of school and they're running around in their neighborhoods doing their things. And even at 20 miles an hour, if a kid darts out, you can't see him, you can't react.
Yeah. I think it's more so a safety issue in summer, but I think that's the compromise is people will maybe wrap up that RV and put it away for the winter, and you want to have access to it in the summer. So that kind of voice probably was loud, and that was the compromise. And that's maybe the obstacle you face when you first introduced this is the constituents that are going to make the most noise show up at the meeting are going to be the ones who have been parking their stuff out on the street. Now, suddenly you're going to take that away from them. They're going to come and they're going to public comment and they're going to make noise. The people who say, well, it's probably safer and better for our streets, they won't be that motivated to take off work and go down and talk about it. So that was one thing, and I think the compromise has been summer. And by the way, it's summer. That's ended. So starting tomorrow, you got to get your big stuff off the street, large obstructions, and there's 25 foot, whatever the limit is, RVs on the street. So it was a win, but as you say, Rocky, it's not over yet until really it's year round. I get it. I mean, it's a crowding issue, safety issue, and it's abusing. What about the people who say, hey, we own the streets too. We pay taxes. The streets are ours.
Should you be able to drive as fast as you want?
Mm-hmm. Good point.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. There are rules still.
There are.
Even though you own this. Yeah, I get it. Also, Rocky, I think we're having you on because are you ready to announce your candidacy for mayor?
No, I'm not running for mayor.
No?
I am not running, no.
I mean, we need you back in politics, I think. If you could, though, a little off topic, could you talk about what the city is facing as far as spending? I know when you were on the council, that was a concern. It probably still is, Cheyenne. And in every city in Wyoming is faced with this. During COVID, with COVID money and incentives and federal cities.
It was right in cash, man.
Communities, people were spending like crazy. Now, all of a sudden, that has dried up. And even worse, property tax has that compromise there. But property taxes, cities like Cheyenne are going to be hurting as far as spending. They got to rein it in, don't you think?
Well, I think there's going to be some reining in, but I think one of the things people don't understand or don't look at from a budgetary standpoint, there were windfalls just because of the price of property was going through the roof. So the revenues to the municipalities went through the roof. And so is it really truly a big haircut, or were they overspending because it was just the money was in the bank? So
yeah,
it's a deeper conversation there. And I think what I ought to do is go back and look before property values started skyrocketing. What were the revenues then and what we can do with that baseline? Because that's more what it's going to be. It's not going to be this massive drop off, I don't think. On the federal side and all the COVID incentives, that's going to be huge and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, that was like a perfect storm of just money falling out of the sky. Yeah, it was COVID and it was real estate just going bizarre. And probably inflated property tax revenue for communities. And now all of a sudden, they got to learn to live a different way. It's tough. Well, I appreciate you had the foresight. You were ahead of the curve to see an issue with parking stuff on the street. It's just an annoyance for me. And it's a safety issue for sure. And maybe the work not done yet. Maybe we got to make it year round. But anybody who's got that big old RV parked out front now, you're going to get one verbal warning beginning tomorrow, and then you got to get it out the way. Thanks for coming.
Yep. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Rocky. Thanks for coming on. Cowboy State Daily Show continues. Let's get Don Day in here, our weather guy. We'll talk a little weather. I'm still trying to fix our home website, but I'll work on that as Don talks weather. Don, we still got a real stubborn Dollar Lake fire I'm keeping an eye on. I have camped there at the Green River Lakes, right there where that fire is in nasty country. And you've been making it windy a little bit yesterday, you admitted. Any relief inside? A little cool down, though. Casper today is going to be kind of cool as Cheyenne.
Hey, Newcastle was 36 this morning.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah, Weston County a little chilly this morning.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, when you get into this deep into the fire season, as you get into September and October, you're going to have some windy and dry periods, and that's what makes it tough. Now, there is less wind, thankfully, today. There's also going to be increasing humidity this weekend, especially Sunday. That should help, even a little bit of shower activity and thunderstorm activity. And next week and next weekend, Western Wyoming's got some rain chances. So there's going to be some struggles, but overall, I think the weather over the next 7 to 10 days is going to be more helpful, especially next week.
Good. That's good news. Yeah, that's all I really have for you. I'm trying to fix some things that I broke just moments ago.
There you go. Well, you wanted to talk about football, Laramie.
Oh yeah, because we want to make things uncomfortable for Northern Iowa.
For Northern Iowa, that's right. So,
yeah.
Well, if they're uncomfortable at 70 degrees, that's.
Oh, darn.
There's no snowstorm coming for this game.
Can't snow on them. All right, we'll save that for Josh Allen's retirement.
Yeah, I was looking at that Josh Allen, coming, and that game's going to be sold out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I looked at the calendar like, that's November 22nd. Oh my.
Yeah.
November 22nd, either it's going to be fine or it's not.
Yeah, I know. And that starts to get, when you get approaching like that Thanksgiving mark, right? That's when, like, it snows before then for sure. Like it snows, even in August, it can snow in October, November, but it starts sticking around, and it's the kind of snow where you're like, that's going to be there till May.
Right,
and
exactly.
That's right around the tail end of November. Yeah. As you approach Thanksgiving. So maybe. But Josh is used to that. Jeez, he plays football in Buffalo, New York now.
That's right.
Lake effect snow. That's nothing. So it'll be nice for Larry. Well, that'll be good for the fans. That's all right. We can beat the Panthers without weather being on our side too. No problem.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Don.
Bye-bye.
Don Day on the Cowboy State Daily Show. I'm going to take a quick break and get right back to it after these.
To the Teton Range, Cheyenne to Sheridan, Rawlins to Ralston. Cowboy State Daily Morning Show covers the other radio show or podcast. We love Lovell. We're eager to share the stories of Story Will Crow About Crowheart and Yodel Over Yoder. Whether you make your home in Sweetwater, Chugwater, Powder River, or Green River, the Cowboy State Daily Morning Show will make you feel right at home. Jeffrey City, Atlantic City, we see you. Little America, Big Piney, you're on our radar. Howdy, Wapiti, Meeteetse, Shoshone, 10 Sleep, good morning. Welcome Torrington, Riverton, Wheatland, Lusk, Lingle, Lander, Timber, Casey, Kerwin, Moorcroft, Mountain View, Moose, Fort Bridger, Fort Laramie, Fort Washington, Hannah, Hudson, Hewlett, Dayton, Daniel, and DuBois. We are east of Weston, west of Midwest, north of Newcastle, and south of Sundance. Border to border, we love Wyoming and every one of its communities, bar none.
This is the Cowboy State Daily Radio Network.